That road leading to the ANC December conference has begun, as you've seen over the last few weeks. More and more provinces are endorsing President Cyril Ramaphosa for a second term, but not as much as his deputy, David Mabuza. Mabuza's own province, Mpumalanga, yesterday announced Justice and Correctional Services Minister Ronald Lamola as their choice for the position. Lamola is set to race against, among others, ANC Treasurer General Paul Mashatile in December's elective conference. To discuss this further, we're joined by analyst Levy Ndou. Levi, very good morning to you. I mean, these are interesting times that we are seeing as we edge ever so close to that elective conference in December. Were you anticipating that Ronald Lamola's name would be thrown into the hat of potential top executives within the ANC after December?
Good morning, Rafiwa. Good morning to the viewers at home. Indeed, there has been talks for the support of Ronald Lamola. There are a number of public gatherings in which some branches and some leaders of the ANC in Mpumalanga have actually endorsed Lamola to be the deputy president. There is always talks from other provinces and sectors of the ANC, in particular the youth wing and other younger people in the ANC who have actually indicated their support for Ronald Lamola. And I think his candidacy is also boosted by the fact that he is a younger person. He occupies one of the key positions in government and is actually be doing well. But now that we are in September, the journey is still very long because branches are still going to express themselves, regions and provinces alike, and anything can still happen. But Lamola appears to be available and ready to take the reins.
He may be available and ready to take the reins, Ndou, but within the different structures of the African National Congress, do you find that there is strong support beyond Mpumalanga for Lamola?
Well, I think what we need to consider is the fact that now that the ANC is about to open the nomination processes, it will therefore require those that are supposed to be campaigning and canvassing for him to be able to send a very strong message that will persuade other provinces and other branches to be able to support him. What you require now is the ability to negotiate beyond your province. Mpumalanga has said, indeed, they would love to see Ronald Lamola to be the deputy president. I've also realized that they've started negotiating with other provinces. That will then require them to provide sufficient reasons and strategies to ensure that his bid becomes successful. It's a matter of give and take. It will require strong negotiations, compromises, but at the end of the day, those that want the ANC to be stronger must actually do whatever they do in the best interest of their party, the ANC.
Speaking of the best interest of the party, Ndou, you heard earlier on, just before we started our interview, Fikile Mbalula saying that President Cyril Ramaphosa deserves a second term. Do you not maybe think he's correct in that the ANC needs the credibility that is perceived to be associated with President Ramaphosa, putting aside those issues of the Para saga?
Whoever is campaigning for any candidate would provide as much reasons as possible in order to convince others to vote or agree with the candidacy of that person's choice. And of course, because they want Cyril Ramaphosa to continue, they will also cite the trend that has taken place in the ANC that says that former President Mbeki got 2 terms, former President Zuma got 2 terms, And equally, Ramaphosa also has to get 2 terms. But that is not what the Constitution says. The Constitution says after 5 years, the ANC goes to an elective conference and elect leaders. And of course, those who love to see Ramaphosa continuing will also cite this kind of trends in order to boost his campaign for re-election. Equally, you have got a lot of people in the ANC who are ambitious, who also want to become presidents. So they might also be nominated elsewhere, get support wherever, and that will mean that the contestation is heating up within the ANC. And all we need to do is to look at the capability of the ANC to manage this process until the conference, so that at the end of the day, you do not have factions beyond the elective conference.
Let's speak about Paul Mashatile. I mean, there's talks of him rising up the ranks that have happened over the last few months. What kind of a potential deputy president do you think he would make? And does he enjoy the support of the party at large?
Paul Mashatile has done a lot of work for the ANC, especially in the Gauteng province. He has run the province both in the party and both in government. He has always been seen to be one of the popular leaders of the ANC in Gauteng. Hence, his election to the National Executive Committee of the ANC in the last conference. I also see Paul Mashatile as one person who is capable of occupying any position in the ANC because of the track record that he has. But look, Ropiwa, the ANC has got 9 provinces. Ramaphosa comes from the Gauteng province. Mashatile comes from the Gauteng province. Obviously, even though it is not in the constitution of the ANC, one would expect that leadership has to be spread across provinces. And now that there are this kind of negotiations and discussions taking place, he might be able to occupy that position. He might not be able to occupy that position because in negotiations, it's a give and take situation. You compromise in order to achieve a particular objective. So the tussle, the contestation, the discussions behind closed doors are going to continue, and those are the issues that will be occupying a higher level in the discussions within the ANC across branches, regions, provinces, and indeed at national level.
Thank you very much, Levy Ndou, for joining us this morning. Very interesting insights ahead of that conference that is set to take place in December, discussing there the endorsement of Ronald Lamola as a candidate there by Mpumalanga. Thank you very much for your time this morning.